All right, you turkeys, it's time for a brand new game I like to call Gobble or Squabble. No, that is not a Milton Bradley or Hasbro board game. It is one I just invented in honor of Turkey Day, which is coming up. And here's how the game works. Gobble, of course, is synonymous with gobbling up food very greedily and quickly. You love something if you gobble it up. Whereas a squabble is a petty argument you'd have with someone. Oh, she and I got into a squabble, right? So I'm going to give you sort of these Thanksgiving traditions, these sort of Thanksgiving do's or don'ts, and you tell me if you gobble, meaning you are into these things and you gobble them up, or squabble, you don't like these things, and we'll kind of argue and chat about it and dissect it. How does that sound?
Sounds great.
Did I explain it thoroughly?
Yeah. If I like it, I gobble. If I don't, I'm squabble.
Gobble, squabble. That's all I should be hearing out of you when I say these things, all right? Then we can get into it, all right?
Got it.
So I'm going to start naming a few sides that are often seen at Thanksgiving, and you tell me gobble or squabble, okay? Candied yams and or sweet potato casserole.
Squabble. That's a dessert. You put a graham cracker crust on it. Now we're talking. I can eat that for dessert. It has no place during the savory portion of the dinner.
You're saying it should be a sweet potato pie, or it should be nothing. Okay,
Yeah, I like
right.
those. I like sweet potato pies, but I'm squabbling with putting that forth as a savory dish. It's for children who don't like vegetables. It's baby food. I can't have maple syrup next to turkey and
Save
gravy.
it for the pancakes.
Yeah.
Save it for the pancakes for breakfast.
That's right.
All right, green bean casserole. This is for those who don't know. Green bean, usually with cream of mushroom soup, some cheese, and those fried onions on top.
I'm gobbling that. I have a weakness for really trashy, true Americana. You got those green beans are out of a freezer bag. That can of mushroom soup is out of a can. That cheese is pre-shredded. Those onions are pre-fried. That's all. I love how
It's all
processed
cans.
it is.
It's all cans being combined, doesn't it?
And there's something beautiful about that, really.
Most people find it, not most people, some people find it quite revolting, which I think it is something that when I eat it, I'm like, this is pretty disgusting, but it is kind of good sometimes.
I'll eat it one time a year, It's also what I love about it is it's the plausible deniability of it being a vegetable.
Well, that's what people would say about the sweet potato casserole, right?
But savory. It's a savory thing. I can see it. Everything on the plate at Thanksgiving, once you've, stuffed your face and you've kind of gotten into it, after you've sort of sampled everything, it all comes together in this big mishmash in the middle.
Right.
And I can see the green bean casserole playing harmoniously with the other items typically on the plate, as opposed to the sweet potato with marshmallows and hot fudge and
whipped cream, maraschino cherries.
Yeah, no.
All right, one more side for you. Macaroni and cheese. Gobble or squabble is a Thanksgiving side.
I'm squabbling with it.
My favorite. How could you?
I don't need it at Thanksgiving. We've got so many other things that are great and carb heavy at Thanksgiving. I'm already eating stuffing and mashed potatoes.
And probably a bread or a roll or something, right? Yeah.
Mac and cheese is great. Great. A phenomenal food.
We had it today, didn't we?
Yes, one of the best culinary inventions of all time, but Thanksgiving is about very specific foods, and God bless macaroni and cheese. I'll eat it the day before, and I'll eat it maybe 2 days after Thanksgiving, but I will not eat it. I think it belongs in a separate realm. It's like, hey, what are you doing here? This is Stuffing's Day of the year.
Right. I understand. Even for a mac and cheese lover like me, I surely can see the light there. All right, let's move on to dessert. I have one dessert gobble or squabble for you. Typically we see sweet potato pie, we see pecan pie, we see pumpkin pie, we see apple pie. Gobble or squabble, any type of cream pie for dessert at Thanksgiving. So banana cream, chocolate cream, coconut cream, Gobble or squabble?
I'm squabbling with that. It's too rich. It's too rich. I think it's the same reason we don't have cakes at Thanksgiving. No, there's no Thanksgiving cake.
Well, you'll sometimes get like a pumpkin bread, pumpkin kind of cake or something like that. That's true, though. It's usually not, or like a spice cake, something like that. You typically won't have, don't say pumpkin cake like I'm from another planet, you know?
Pumpkin
You xenophobe. But yeah, no, it is true. It's definitely more of a pie day. I'll say this, it's a lot of hot food during Thanksgiving. A nice cooling banana cream pie, chocolate cream pie. I'm not against it, but is it a traditional? Yes, it's not necessarily traditional, but I don't know that I'm totally against. Banana cream pie, I will say it is my favorite type of pie.
I think to me, Thanksgiving, it's sort of like a secular Passover in that the items of food are very specific that we need to have.
It's the food
here.
that the pilgrims and natives ate.
Yes.
Pecan pie.
Right. I
Sweet
want it to
potato
be,
pie.
these.
Stouffer's stuffing. I gotcha.
I just think that there's such a rarity that you actually get to enjoy these things. It's like, for me, I don't really eat candy, like major corporation candy, outside of Halloween and maybe Easter a little bit. And those are like basically the only two times that I touch the stuff. And with Thanksgiving, it's probably the only time I'm eating stuffing. It's probably the only time that I'm really getting a chance to get a nice sweet potato pie. I want to make the most of it.
Yeah. All right. Here's an interesting one. Gobble or squabble. I'm gonna have to explain it a little bit. Not doing Thanksgiving food on Thanksgiving. So kind of what you were just talking about. I know people who are like, I don't really like turkey. It's too dry. So we do chicken or we do steak or we do duck. And then, we're friends with a lot of Mexican families who they don't do the turkey, mashed potatoes, what they would call white food, right? They do tamales. They do other stuff, right? Gobble or squabble. Should you be having non-Thanksgiving day food items on Thanksgiving?
Oh, geez. Well, I don't want to seem xenophobic or intolerant of other cultures. So, look, if you have cultural foods that you like to eat on that day, that's fine. Thanksgiving is a malleable American holiday and should be allowed you to bring your own flavor to it, with the exceptions of the things that I have just laid out, which are more American foods that people have kind of said, let's bring these into Thanksgiving.
But even still, like, we as Italians, right, we could have Italian Thanksgiving, right? But you can do these things for Christmas, right? Tamales, for instance, for Mexican families, it's a huge thing on Christmas. I'm almost on the squabble side because I just kind of think like, hey, turkey isn't my favorite meat in the world, but it's what you eat on Thanksgiving. It's like, hey, cranberry sauce, it's okay.
Yeah.
But it's like, I love it with the turkey and the stuffing. It's like, I like the restrictions of the holiday. You have to eat these things that are notoriously difficult to cook, can be notoriously bland.
Yes.
And you have to add your own kind of zhuzh to it. So I do kind of like that you are restricted. It's almost like having the bumpers up when you're bowling, right?
I like what you're putting down there. I also think too, like Thanksgiving, what are you thankful for? I think that is the kind of the broad question of Thanksgiving, right? I mean, it's on a personal level, but I think on a macro, super level, what we are thankful for is North America and the riches of North America. And the turkey is one of the few fowl native to North America.
Right.
And a lot of the food that we eat are sort of Native American foods.
Well, now you're saying, though, if we're thankful for North America and I have the choice between Thanksgiving food and Mexican food, I'm maybe leaning toward Mexican food, right?
Well, fair enough. But I think, it's sort of a grounded in the, New England sort of Thanksgiving here. And, obviously there's certainly some cultural stickiness on that point. And, far be it from me to wash away some of the things that were done in those times. Yeah. But I think that part of it should be sort of this celebration of the cuisines and the foods that are in North America and sort of these traditional things. And as we've said, you said this about the Kings. It's good to have some things that you stick to, some traditions, some things to return to. And, I also have a squabble with people who say that turkey is dry. You're not cooking it right. There's a way to cook turkeys. You can figure it out. There's a such thing as spatchcocking. Look it up.
Yeah, cut out the spinal cord of the turkey and firmly press it down onto a sheet pan and it'll cook better.
Yeah.
Little tip. All right. Gobble or squabble. Eating Thanksgiving dinner at 2 p.m.
Oh, I'm gobbling. I love eating at 2 p.m. because, you maybe you have a light breakfast.
Smoothie. Cup of yogurt.
Cup of coffee. You have that, and you really get hungry. You want to be hungry,
Yes.
but you don't want to be absolutely starving because you don't want to lose your wits as you're in the kitchen putting all of this stuff together. And then the best part about it is that you can have a lot of time to digest, and then also come back. Then you can have dessert. It's so much of the day should just be basically devoted to eating that I like getting into the main course early. I don't want to have like a sandwich or some other type of food. Let's get to the Thanksgiving.
Really push the lunch deadline. I'm gobbling this. I think really light breakfast. I think avoid too much of the charcuterie. Maybe just a little, if the charcuterie's out, you could have a little bit just to wet your beak. But you should be absolutely fiending by 2 p.m. And then the nice thing about that is it gives you a lot of time to digest. I don't understand families who eat Thanksgiving dinner. They're usually just kind of falling behind and they eat around 7 or 8. And then it's like, gosh, you go to bed at 11. You only have like a couple hours to digest it. And you're going to bed with this huge, gut. I mean, I guess not everyone eats to the extent we eat. I mean, we really push ourselves on Thanksgiving, right? It's we often get so full to the point where it's like we had a lap band surgery and ignored the doctor's warnings not to overeat. That's how absolutely stuffed we are,
Yeah.
All right, we're gobbling that. Okay, gobbler squabble. Throwing the pigskin around between dinner and dessert or before dinner on Thanksgiving.
This is something I would love to gobble more. Sadly, you and I are kind of the only... we have some cousins, but they've sort of gone their separate ways. It makes me yearn. I wish we had this large family full of men and boys sort of our age and athletic ability, which, decent but not incredible. I would love to throw the old pigskin around.
You'd like some more bros, it sounds like. You'd like more bros on the pod.
I'd like, between 8 to 12 more bros.
I think, when we cook so much on Thanksgiving, so we're just a little preoccupied. But in the days when we were younger and the adults did more of the work, we were able to toss the pigskin a bit. Maybe this year we'll make a point of it.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking that.
I don't think we own a football. I don't think we own a football. So we have
wrong.
That's wrong. We got to go to Dick's Sporting Goods or something. Gobble or squabble, the after dinner walk following Thanksgiving dinner.
I'm probably squabbling with it on account of me being too full to really move. I want to lay horizontal like a Roman lord. That is what I want.
Emperor, perhaps.
Emperor. Well, I wouldn't quite. You got to have some humility. A Roman noble. How about that?
There you go.
And I would say I would prefer the old pre-Thanksgiving dinner walk.
Oh.
Like I like the turkey
Getting
trot.
extra famished? Like,
yes.
Interesting.
That's right.
Okay.
I like the turkey trot.
I kind of gobble the after dinner walk. I don't mind it. I think you have to force yourself to do it. There's this big trend with young people doing these after dinner walks, and when we grew up, people called it an after dinner walk. Young people apparently now call it a fart walk because you go on the walk after you eat. Obviously, the cardio triggers your digestive system, and you leak out a couple of stink bombs. But to put it as crudely as possible, but it is like it does help your gut. You don't want it just sitting in there like lead. You want to.
Well, perhaps not, but sometimes you're just too big.
I guess it's the day for it, right? It's the day to sit around.
Oh, there's football on.
That's true. Speaking of stuff on TV, Gobbler Squabble, watching the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade on television.
I will. I'll squabble in that I'm not going to watch it with like the sound on and sitting in front of the TV. If there's you have like a big great room or whatever, and there's like the kitchen that's no wall, and there's the living room, I'm okay with it being on that TV out in the distance, and I can sort of see Charlie Brown or whatever floating on by SpongeBob. That's okay, but I'm not giving that any attention beyond just background wallpaper.
I agree. I've never watched more than 60 seconds of it on any year ever. Gobbler Squabble, last one. Black Friday shopping.
It's tough because I'm anti-consumerist around our feast days, but I also love a deal.
Yeah.
I'm squabbling. Deals are for the rest of the year. Black Friday, it should be.
That's a leftover.
It's a leftover
right?
day.
Yeah.
You know, it's seeing people off. Is there? Well, actually, you know, people are coming to town. You know, you spend a little
Depends
time
what
with them.
position. Yeah, that's true. You should
Yeah,
spend it with
spend
loved
some
ones,
time
not
with your
trying to buy, say, a new air fryer.
Yeah.
How about that? We brought it full circle.
There
I
we
guess
go.
I am good at improv. I do get improv.
How about that? I will say, though, with the advent of online Black Friday shopping, I'm more okay with online Black Friday shopping because that's something you can do in a relaxed, even sort of somewhat cozy environment with your family, with your loved ones. You can buy somebody a gift. You're not braving the crowds,
Yeah.
you know, elbowing some lady for a flat screen TV. You don't need to do that. But if you're, browsing Amazon, alongside grandma, that's okay.
That's okay. That's okay. Call it.
Call it.
You full?
I'm all gobbled out.
You're all gobbled out. Well, in that case, please subscribe, comment, or leave a rating. Send questions, comments, or big idea suggestions to our business email, flynnbrospod@gmail.com. Thank you to our producer, Will Slade, and we'll see you next time on the Flynn Brothers Podcast. Hey, take care, buddy.
No, buddy, you take care.